What is going on YouTube? It's your boy NevinTheBarber, and in today's YouTube video, I'm going to be covering a slick back with a burst fade. So to get right into today's tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and start off this haircut using my Cyborg trimmers, creating my first guideline, going about a ½ inch right above my client's ear. And I'm just bringing this guideline right behind my client's ear. Just because it is going to be a burst fade, I am going to retain some of the bulk on the back of my client's head. And for the next guideline, I'm going to use the Gamma Instinct clippers with no guard lever all the way open. And I'm going up about an inch right above the previous guideline. And right above this guideline, I'm going to put the number 2 guard on, and I'm going to open the lever all the way. And I'm gonna go up about another inch right above this previous section. And I'm gonna do some clipper over comb with that same guard, ensuring that I roll that comb off of the occipital bone as well as the parietal ridge bone. And I do this that way I don't cut too much hair off of the crown area, just because I did want to retain more weight on the crown section of my client's haircut. And to erase that middle guideline, I went ahead and put the half guard on with the lever all the way open. So this is basically cutting the hair down to a short number 1 guard length. And I'm just gonna gradually close the lever as needed to flick out any dark areas that I see. And just be patient with it. Some of your clients' hair texture may take a little bit longer than others. And right here, I have the lever closed all the way, and you guys can basically see that that middle guideline is all the way blended out. And before I erase my last guideline, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up my client's sideburns where his C-cups are. And I always like to do this before I erase my last guideline, just because it really does make the hairline pop that much more. And my client did not want to line up the front, so like I said, I'm just cleaning up the C-cups before I erase that last guideline in the fade. And just like that, I was able to line up the side of my client's C-cups. And here I'm gonna come back with the Gamma Instinct clippers with no guard lever all the way closed. And I'm just flicking out that last guideline, and I'm gradually gonna open the lever 1 notch at a time to go up and complete the rest of this fade. And I'm really just using the corner of the blade on the clipper. As you guys can see, I've always preferred corner cutting rather than using the full blade. And the main reason behind this is just because I get a much more detailed and precise cut. And just going over my client's C-cups one more time, I always like to go back and detail my work, ensuring that I can get it as sharp as possible. Not only will your client appreciate it, but it will increase your chances of retainment on that cut. So just remember, every haircut you guys do is a walking billboard of your work, and can definitely get another potential client in your chair. And right here, I'm just doing some point cutting with the thinning shears, attacking any last dark areas that I see on the top of the fade. And this technique right here with the shears really is a game changer. Once you guys get the hang of it, it'll really take your face to the next level. And now I'm gonna go ahead and create that point shape on my client's nape area. And the reason I'm doing this is just because it is a burst fade. And with burst fades, you usually can get the back rounded out, or with the point, kind of like a triangle shape, how I'm doing right now. And these are the Gamma Saber trimmers. If you guys do want to buy them, feel free to use my discount code Nevin10 on the Gamma website to save some money. I can honestly say that all the clippers from Gamma are hitters, and they're definitely reliable as long as you guys take care of them. And here, just going back one more time, doing some point cutting with my thinning shears. And I'm gonna go ahead and finish off this fade using the Gamma Uno shaver. This is a single foil shaver again from Gamma. If you guys do want to buy it, feel free to use my discount code Nevin10. And I really like this foil shaver right here as well, just because it's very compatible. And not only that, considering it's a single foil shaver, it is very powerful. So big shout out to Gamma for always taking care of me and coming through with the best clippers. And now I'm gonna go ahead and saturate the top of my client's hair. My client didn't want to take off too much length. He just wanted me to thin it out and give it a little bit more texture. So I went ahead and took my thinning razor right here to texture out my client's hair. And this is really just creating more movement, so when my client styles it, it doesn't feel as thick or bulky. And same thing on the back. It's very important that whenever you guys are working with a longer hair texture, that you ensure that it's, cut down to the same length all the way around. That way when your client styles it, everything is nice and proportioned. And here, I'm gonna go ahead and blend the top of the fade into that crown area of my client's longer hairs, doing some thinning shear over comb. And when you guys do this, you do want to be sure to roll that comb off of your client's parietal ridge bone. That way you don't cut off more hair than what you need to. And now that I have this side complete, I'm gonna go ahead and do the same exact steps on the left side of my client's head. First things first, starting off the fade with the trimmers. And you guys wanna be sure that both sides are as symmetrical as you can get them, just because clean symmetrical guidelines will always equal a clean symmetrical fade. So just keep that in mind whenever you guys are cutting hair. You want everything to be nice and even on both sides of your client's head. And for the burst fade, you guys potentially just want to try to create a round circular guideline around your client's ear. And now that I have that done, I'm gonna go ahead and take my clippers with no guard, lever all the way open, just flicking out at that bulk, creating a 1-inch guideline. And now I'm gonna come in with the 1.5 guard all the way closed, doing some clipper over comb. And when doing this, I'm going up right up to the parietal ridge bone, as I mentioned earlier. That way when the hair falls, it's still nice and flush on your client's scalp. And little by little, I'm just attacking the bulk. That way when I come back with my smaller guard, it'll be easier for me to blend into the fade. So now I'm gonna use that half guard to blend the 0.5 into the 1.5. And I'm gonna start with the lever all the way open, which is basically just cutting the hair down to a short number 1 guard length. And as always, I'm just gonna gradually close that lever 1 notch at a time while shortening my cutting stroke. And the main reason why I shorten the cutting stroke is because the hair is getting cut at a tad bit more of a shorter length every time I close that lever. So for all you beginner barbers out there that don't know how the lever on the clipper works, every time you guys are closing it, the hair is really just getting cut a tad bit shorter. And to finish off the fade, I'm using no guard, lever all the way closed. And I'm just gradually opening the lever 1 notch at a time to complete the blend. And whenever you guys are cutting hair, always remember the fade happens from the 1.5 down to the 0, or the skin, you could say. But there really is no right or wrong way to cut hair. At the end of the day, you guys really just have to find a system that works for you. But if you haven't tried this method out, feel free to try it out and let me know what you guys think of it in the comments. And if there is any other haircut tutorials that you guys want to see, feel free to drop them in the comments as well. That way I can get them out for you guys. And now with my Gamma Saber trimmers, I'm gonna go ahead and finish off this burst fade by completing the nape area and getting that nice sharp point on the back. And this really just brings everything together. It really makes the fade pop out as well, as you guys can see. And just to finish off this haircut, I'm gonna go ahead and saturate my client's hair. That way I can thin out the left side just as I did to the right side with the thinning razor. And like I mentioned earlier, the thinning razor basically just takes off the bulk of the hair without, you know, cutting too much of it. It's basically just thinning out all the thickness that really doesn't need to be there, but still maintains the length and the shape of the haircut. And this specific thinning razor right here is made by American Crew, if you guys do want to purchase this one as well. And just doing the same thing on the back, ensuring that all that bulk on the occipital bone gets texturized just as it did on the crown area. But it's all of these little details that'll really bring your haircuts to life and make everything flow and have a smooth transition. But you guys can see that little by little, this fade is really starting to come together with each step that I've shown you guys. And right here, this is another shear method called slicing. And I'm basically just running the shears through at a 45-degree angle, going down, removing some of the bulk in the back. And this is another great technique right here that'll give a lot of texture and volume, as you guys can see. But that is about it for today's haircut tutorial. I'm just gonna go ahead and finish styling off my client with some product here. But if you guys did enjoy this tutorial or learn anything from the video, please be sure to hit that like button, drop a comment letting me know what you guys want to see next, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But it's been your boy Nevin the Barber, and I'm out. I'll see you guys in the next one.